So here we are in February. It's a very busy month for Wrexham Football Club with 8 games to be played. I think it'd be very, very decisive in terms of the title race between ourselves, Notts County and Chesterfield, because all three teams really have a ridiculous number of games to play in. And it looks like we'll be playing Saturday, Tuesday throughout the entire month, and then probably to a certain extent into March. So I thought I'd take a bit of time and just go through the games that we're playing in February and predicting what we're going to get, what points total, and obviously what cups we'll still be in. Perhaps after I've made this prediction and come back to it at the end of February, we can see just how wrong or right I am. Most likely wrong. So if you want to see what those outcomes are, perhaps you want to subscribe to the channel, then you can see what they're like at the end of the month. So obviously kicking off our first game, Saturday 4th against Altrincham. Now, it looks like Altrincham have had a fair few changes to their squad with several key players, the likes of Ryan Coughlin going to Chesterfield, and then got Connor Jennings leaving on loan back to the parent club, but it looks like they have brought in quite a few players on loan the last few days, so it almost feels like Altrincham will have almost entirely new squad, or perhaps that's a slight exaggeration, but it will be quite interesting to see what happens with Altrincham, because they look like they had some good form, and then a couple of defeats recently seems to have slightly derailed them. Perhaps they think about the playoffs, but in terms of this one, I think Wrexham will get the win. Obviously, we've had that 2 injuries to our defence. We brought in O'Connell, and I think we'll have enough with plenty of rest from Sunday to win this one. And then moving on to just as big a game, perhaps, is the Sheffield United 4th round replay on the 7th. Now, unfortunately, I think Wrexham will lose this game. I think Sheffield United will just play a strong side, and they'll want to probably play Tottenham in the next round and try their chance against the Premier League side. It's just unfortunate. I think we probably had our chance on the weekend, and that's probably going to be it for us in the FA Cup. But then again, when we went to Coventry, all I minded was we didn't get thumped too badly. But we could pull something out, but I think probably it's unlikely, really. And then moving on from Sheffield, we're back at home with several home games this month. The first one being against Wealdstone. Now, the thing is, Wealdstone look like they're one of those teams who could make it into the playoffs, and I think that would be a fantastic result for Wealdstone. But it does look like there's a big pack in and outside the playoffs, and they're going to need a good set of results to actually make it into the playoffs. But I don't think they're going to get anything from Wrexham. I think we'll carry on our winning run at home, and hopefully that's going to raise the memory of that poor home game we had against them last season, which was a bit of a nothing draw, really. And then following that up on the Tuesday, we got Woking at home. Now, in terms of, I think this is probably the toughest game, with the exception of Sheffield United, but probably the toughest game we'll play in the league this month. I think Woking, at the moment they're third or fourth, challenging with Chesterfield. And I think they're probably going to be a team that's going to end our winning streak, but I don't think they'll beat us. I think it'll be a draw, and I think Darren Sarr's quite a good manager, and I think he might get a good result for us and end up drawing that game. Hopefully that doesn't cost us too much in terms of the title race, but we'll wait and see. And then moving on to our next game, Aldershot at home, yet another home game. So I think, Aldershot's away. I'm sorry, we beat them at home. So our next the away game at Aldershot. So I think Aldershot, seem to have a bit of a mixed form. They seem to go through patches where they'll have terrible form and then look like they're going to get relegated, and then they'll just randomly start to bring out good results. Like they had a win at Solihull and seem to bring forth back 2 or 3 good wins, which. Then again, for that sort of team, I suppose it's to be expected. They're not going to be perfect, and they are going to come against a team in mediocre form. And then, I think we'll beat Aldershot in that game. So then following up, we got another set, or our final set of 3 home games. So first one is against Scunthorpe. Now, Scunthorpe have been looking pretty poor for most of the season, but they seem to have, with a new new owner and a new manager, and they seem to have brought in several new players, so hopefully that's going to start turning things around for them, though. I don't think they're going to get anything from their trip to North Wales, though I do wish them well on their new journey with their new owners, and hopefully they can, start turning things around and they make their way back up the league and hopefully escape relegation. Might be a tough ask, but it'll be a bit of a shame for a team that about 10 years ago won a championship to fall into the Conference North, so hopefully this can stop that. And then our next home game is against Dorking. Now we gave knocked past 5 past Dorking in the season when they looked reasonably decent, but now it looks like results have started pretty poor, and they're starting to get closer and closer to that relegation zone, and I think they're going to get they probably will get relegated, I think, at the end of the season, because they just seem to, they're all out attack and not bothering the defence, and I think, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the biggest win of the season for Wrexham. Maybe again knocking 6 past them, but we'll see. But I think this, like I said, I think this will be a comfortable win for ourselves. Now, ending the month with another big game against Chesterfield. Now I think Wrexham will win this one. Chesterfield have looked like outside contenders for the title. Now, I did mention they were in the title contention, but I think they have had some slip-ups recently, and with the form of ourselves and Notts County, I think their best prospect of the playoffs and fighting for third. They certainly have good players like the likes of Dobra and King, but I'm not sure why they didn't play Shimanga and they let him go, and they're relying on Quigley, really, who is not nearly as effective. And this is going to be, a very busy month for both Wrexham and Chesterfield. I think we probably got a better squad and first team than Chesterfield, so I think we'll probably come at the end of this month, with another victory, besting Chesterfield in this one. So, at the end of it, I'm predicting 19 points. I don't know whether you think that's ambitious. Winning most with 1 draw to Woking and then defeat to Sheffield United. Perhaps a shame to see our FA Cup eventually come to an end, but also the priority is the league, and probably would have been best one way or the other for us to either have won or beaten Sheffield United, really. Then we could have had another league game. Maybe we'll play Spurs next season in a cup, some sort of cup game if we go up. That's fingers crossed that. But what do you all think of my predictions? What do you think we'll get this month? Hope to hear from you soon, and hope if you're enjoying this content, please subscribe. Thank you.